Hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Version 1, a podcast where interesting people come to talk about their creative processes, imposter syndrome, inspiration, failures along the way, and much more. I'm your host, Waverly, and we are at my friend's basement podcast studio in Brooklyn, New York. Follow the show on Instagram at Version 1 Podcast and subscribe to our Substack, version1podcast.substack.com. And you can also find me on buymeacoffee.com/Waverly Colville. You can listen to this episode normally or head over to YouTube to watch the video version and leave us a nice review. All right, this week I am here with my guests, Aaron Haxton and Taylor McKinnon, the co-founders of a very cool restaurant that I really want to go to called Mr. Charlie's Told Me So. Aaron and Taylor, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having us.
Hello, thank you.
Good to be here.
Of course. Could we just start with having you both introduce yourselves to the audience?
Sure. Aaron, you want to go first?
Sure. Yeah. I'm Aaron Haxton and co-founder of Mr. Charlie's with Taylor here. We're creative butterflies, and this is our little butterfly baby that we made. And happy to dig into it with y'all.
I'm Taylor McKinnon. I'm Aaron's man wife, as my wife calls him. Aaron's co-founder, best friend in this little adventure to leave the world better than we found it. So we are together, Mr. Charlie's, along with our team. So,
awesome. And
good to be here.
What is Mr. Charlie's Told Me So?
Mr. Charlie's Told Me So is a nostalgic pastime, reinvented in a new way of looking at the world. Pastime meaning old school burger experience. Go out, hang out with your family, with your friends in a world where everyone's smiling. In my head, they're smiling, you know.
It's a touchstone to your inner child.
There you go.
It's many things besides a restaurant. People think maybe it's a little restaurant at first, but it's a lot deeper than that. And it all begins with who we were as little kids and bringing that nostalgia back and touching in with just being playful.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you guys are a plant-based fast food restaurant, kind of on your website, or maybe I think on your website, it was either on your website or in an article, you said like you guys are kind of like the anti-McDonald's, right? So it's like fast food, but it's all completely plant-based, essentially.
We've only ever claimed to be a nostalgic plant-based fast food experience. So we're kind of like a mix of everything and nothing at the same time, you know? That's pretty much what we are. But made of plants. So we've taken the fast food concept that everybody loves. We all like that craving. And we've just kind of reinvented it with plants and kind of gave it a bit of a twist, gave it some branding that made it feel connecting and kind of painted a picture that enabled you to make your own story with it. Because it's really, we made it for people, you know? Like, yes, there's our own intention to create something that we're inspired to do, but we really made it for people, to connect to people, to let everybody know that you can create anything, do anything, be anything. And we're deadheads. I'm a deadhead. So it's, it really, for me, it started in that culture of seeing so many different people that didn't know each other in one place, loving each other and, having a good time and supporting each other. What would that feel like? And then what would that feel like with fast food? That's our whole mission here, just to create some fun, a place of belonging, and also an opportunity to create jobs for people in need and people recovering and going through life challenges. There's so many people like myself and Aaron included, like we've fallen over a few times in our life. And, it's heavily judged for that. How do you get over that? That's a lot of internal battling, but we wanted to create a space where people could feel safe, almost like home. So that was our intention. And we stuck at that. And we never compromised one time on making sure that we kept it about everybody else. So, and that's really, I think, what people have been drawn to. They feel connected to it. We are a byproduct of great people. Remember, without the support from our customers and people around us, brand partners, like, we're just an idea. So it's really taken a village to build it. And it's been such a rewarding experience, especially for someone like myself who's wanted to do everything on their own out of fear. I've always been a loner. Never really good at asking for help until I meet Aaron. He kind of changes my life 10 years ago. And our journey is formed into what we've created here together. It's a very beautiful thing. So yeah, it's been a journey,
Yeah, absolutely. I want to back up to all the way back when you guys were kids. What did you wanted to be when you grew up, when you guys were little kids?
Oh, that's a great question. Aaron, you want to go first?
That's a great question. Well, I mean, when I was a kid, I wanted to be an architect. I mean, I think, that was a big part of going back to where you started and saying, I mean, that's what my dad was doing. And I wanted to follow in his footsteps. And in a roundabout way, I kind of ended up doing some of that, designing restaurants, not necessarily an architect, but in the creative field.
Yeah, you always had like a strong visual eye and like creative bend to you, it sounds like.
Yeah, I mean, I've been in the creative field since I was 12 years old, making mixtape covers to give to my friends.
I love that.
And it never stopped.
He's a humble soul, but like for me, he's like Andy Warhol reinvented in it, but his own version of it. It's when I look back on art in different periods of the world, because I'm fascinated with all of it, pop art, everything. Aaron really, for me, sits in his own category of just imagination, but he's so brave with it, and our connection together is unique because, when I was a kid, all I wanted to do was be a chef.
Wow, that
was my first thing. Professional football player first, and realized I wasn't going to be good enough for that. I had 2 left feet, but chef, food, loved feeding people. I remember cooking my parents' meals on the weekends and just the art of that, and I loved the space and to create. It's almost like it's me and the food, and it's our moment to just reflect. And you have a lot of time in between cooking things where you get to think about your life, and so I always appreciated the calmness. And I struggled academically as a kid. I'm super dyslexic, like on another level sometimes, but it's great. It's kind of a superpower, I think. I know actually I've learned to believe that anyone that is a little bit different, you have powers. It's just sometimes it's not recognized how it should be. It's misunderstood. But for me, I wasn't smart enough to go to like college and get a degree to become like a doctor or something, or an accountant. My hands were my tools, my heart, being able to do that, and my mum washed up in a pub when I was a kid just to make ends meet, to have extra money to feed us. And I would turn up and to walk her home. And sometimes there'd be so much washing up left, I would jump in. And there used to be a chef called Adrian Webb, who was amazing. And he kind of just showed me the ropes and then got me into college. And I went to catering school and then kind of did that thing. And then for a long time and then put it to rest. I was kind of done. And then until, me and Aaron have done a million things, but when this thing came up, it was like, I have some skills in a toolbox back over there and I might be able to see if they're still usable. And then, with his creative vision and to be able, Aaron has this thing about designing things that get me excited. He understands, it's almost like he understands human behavior in a unique way. It's really important because there's a lot of
I really designed for you, Taylor. I just want to get you excited.
Same. That's and then that's really how it starts. We're so in our own, because I think that when you're a creative, it's very easy to be distracted and feel a lack of self-worth sometimes in your creative vision when you're looking at so many amazing artists just kicking ass without realizing that they're in their world looking at us going, shit, does everyone still like what I'm doing? And is this still working? And what is this? And, did I make a good decision here? We've battled that for years until we got to a place where we just started to understand the why a little bit more in our relationship. And then we've had children. It's kind of funny. It's like I had a baby, Aaron had a baby. Then he had a baby, I had another baby. And it's like we both birthed between us some amazing children. Unbelievable when I think about that, actually. And that's our greatest creation by far. But it's that childlike joy that we're living through right now that we truly believe is the essence of Mr. Charlie's. It's just and what do we mean when we say that? Personally, when I go back when I was a kid, I remember going to grab some hamburgers and fries with my family on my way to my auntie's house. on the weekday, Thursdays. And I remember that was always a regular thing. And just the experience. So in that moment, when I'm meditating and I'm finding my calm, what I do is there's a lot of smog on the ground for everybody. I like to meditate and go above it and look down and just see what it is. Because it's all good in the end. It's all about finding, it's your perspective, right? But when I go inwards and I am a child, the only difference between then and now is that I wasn't conditioned then. I was free. I was free to roam. I had some people looking over us, making sure that we were good, me and my brothers, and we were just free to live our best life. And our parents did the best they could, right? And for us, like, that is a safe space in my heart. So what could we do to recreate that space? That's been my gift to the company, my offering.
Yes.
A menu that I could believe in, but almost like a frequency of my pastime that is safe for me, that keeps me happy. And if you're inspired by what I'm doing, that's my foundation of it. So you can taste it now and you'd be a part of it. And Aaron did the same thing. And on top of that, we employ people that are recovering and are in need of love and are ready to just rebuild their life and become like a super badass. Because everyone's a badass.
Absolutely.
And they bring their frequency to it too. So between all of us, you see what you see today. It's not just us. It's been a collective of great humans from all different places. And also our brand partners that have just made it happen for us, who've supported us from the beginning, and helped us create this menu. It's like they say it takes a village. It's really been a great village for us, and we still have it. That's why we've been successful. We all do a little bit. A lot happens.
Yeah, absolutely. So you mentioned earlier that you guys met 10 years ago. I was curious, how did you guys meet? And then how did you come up with the idea for a plant-based restaurant?
It's a funny story.
Great question. Yeah, I mean, I guess it kind of started on your end, Taylor, because you found me.
Yeah, we helped somebody who was in need. Just an act of kindness, me and my wife. And that person just happened to be a model and who just did a photo shoot with Aaron, because Aaron's a renowned photographer, very experienced and savvy photographer. And I saw just the look in her eye when she said, "You need to meet this guy." And I was like, okay. I had a clothing label at the time and I was just finding my feet, and I worked with a few different photographers and I just didn't find what I was looking for. I couldn't find it. It wasn't it. And then she tells me about Aaron. So she sets me up to meet with Aaron, and I go and meet him. And it's going to sound really weird, but I genuinely fell in love with him. Like his spirit, his soul, his kindness. Just, he's such a softie. And I was just like, you are the complete opposite of me. And then the universe said to me, that you and this guy are going to be together for the rest of your life. And I told you that, right? On our first interaction.
Yeah, I thought you were crazy, but I did like you a lot.
Oh, that's so sweet. How did you guys come up with the idea for a restaurant together then?
We own Word. Yeah, it was a byproduct of something else. We own Word Up magazine, the old rap magazine from New York, actually. And we did I don't know if you remember, there was a 50th anniversary of Biggie Smalls that went out with Budweiser. That was me and Aaron that were behind that, to make that. We kind of gave the blessing for the family to kind of do their thing with the magazine and to do what they want. So we ended up doing a pop-up in LA for the magazine, and just to get some movement. And then there was a space across the street, which is our original La Brea store today. And we met a guy that had the space, and it was a very serendipitous thing. It was a very spiritual thing. We're both into medicine and healing, and me especially, I'm kind of love plant medicine. I love it. So I'm always soul searching, but there was just something about the moment, and it just made sense. So in that moment, we said yes to opening a restaurant. We had no concept at that point. And then
just like any restaurant, you weren't settled on plant-based or fast food.
Well, it wasn't going to in my head, I had just nothing. It was just a good idea. Like, this feels good. We're going to do this. And then the next part's freaky. I got a text message from a friend of mine telling me about that she wanted to talk to me about this thing. So I called her. She told me about this vegan nugget. So random. Like, so I went to try it. And I was like, okay, this is good. Went in the kitchen, bought all the plant-based products that I could find. And then made the menu and cooked it for Aaron. And then we were working with a guy called Charlie. But I'm a deadhead, so Mr. Charlie is Cosmic Charlie. Like, it's from the dead. It's like a fictitious character, really. But he symbolizes love, connection, positivity. Anything's possible. Be a kid for your whole life. Help people and stop putting your hand out afterwards. Just do it and trust. And just live your best life, really. It's so short. Live in the very moment you're in. That's what it symbolizes. Like the X's and the frown is Aaron's way of like inviting you in.
Well,
it means
with all this, we needed the brand. And I think we were both in a place where we had done so many things and tried so many things that some had worked, some had not worked. But like creatively, I was, kind of had a stick up my ass about like being unique and, I'm an artist, blah, blah, blah. And with this, I was like, forget all of it. And let's go as generic as possible in kind of a comical way. And that was kind of the look behind the brand is really just being as generic as possible. But all these things combined made it kind of unique in its own way. People on the internet say one thing, but we like the circus. That's red and yellow. A lot of things are red and yellow.
True.
Yeah. They're also like the most dominant food colors. My first experience of fast food was Wiener Schnitzel when I first moved here back in the day, just when I used to eat anything and everything. And Aaron's point, we went to the circus together, and I'd never been to the circus. So
cool.
Here we are, red and yellow. Everyone's dancing. Everyone's having a good time. It's again, there's so much space that you can make up your own mind of what you think it is.
Gotcha, absolutely. So what was the creative process then behind like making the brand side of things? Like, you said you were inspired by the circus, but I was curious, if there's any other points of inspiration you have, or were there different versions before you finally settled on this one? Or what was like the process behind designing?
Really, the creative process for me is sitting in a dark room by myself for hours on end.
Pretty much. It disappears.
Yeah, you just disappear and come out with hopefully something. And I think the irony behind the sad face is what we were really pushing on with that. And the irony that the X's over the eyes typically that means that's a dead face, but with our brand, we're actually not killing anything. So that's the real connection there.
Like going into the frowny face logo and the X's on the eyes, like you talked earlier about your brand wanting to feel nostalgic and connecting back to those childhood memories. So I was curious why you chose a frown to represent that. Could you go a little bit more into that?
I think it's a personal thing for both of us. But like if I may, like 11 years ago, 12 years ago, I was homeless at the Dream Center. So I lived in a homeless shelter. I was suicidal. I had no reason to want to live. I'd made so many mistakes that I just finally hit the ground. And I was invited into an establishment that loved on me, fed me, took care of me, and actually gave me a check for enough money to start a new life, which I did. I met a girl there, married her, had 2 kids with that girl.
Wow.
Been married ever since. So it's we create jobs for people in need. We work directly with the Dream Center to bring people from the Dream Center recovering into Mr. Charlie's. I believe this is my personal opinion of the logo. everyone is broken. We're all broken. There is something that we're dealing with, trauma from somewhere, whether it's your trauma or you holding space for someone else's, right? And that's real. And I think we need to kind of come together on that more as a world. And which means that our situations may be different, but the feeling is the same. So therefore we need to show the love and respect for everybody and help and support. So for me, the logo meets you where you need to be sometimes, you know. And for me, if it's a personal thing, because I'm helping drive something, I was so broken, and that face is what was me. But the inside of the building and the feeling and the movement and the way we do things and energetically, spiritually, like, you know, how we support the environment, right down to our boxes. We print from sustainable paper, from sustainable forests, and use soy ink. Like, little differences make a huge difference in the world. But once you come in and experience all of that, the frown makes you realize, oh, there was more to it. There's love behind the sadness, you know?
I think on the nostalgia level, like it's not necessarily referencing just one thing. I think that that feeling of being a child with your mom or your dad, having a burger and a soda is such a core memory that I think a lot of people have and share. And I think with that, it's like you have those memories of having a burger, going to the carnival, like these little things that just resonate so deep. And I think that's what we're drawing on between the food. And if you go to one of our restaurants and see the interior, like they're crazy fun houses is what we are really trying to do. And the logo is a piece of that. And it all kind of works together to create that feeling that we're going for.
And again, it's so individual, which is beautiful. It just gives everyone enough space to make their own story. You heard mine.
Yeah, we like to leave. You know? We like to leave it open for interpretation because it means one thing to each of us, and then people can interpret it however they'd like. And I think a good logo leaves room for that.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm also really curious about what the process is behind developing a menu. Like, you guys are starting this brand new restaurant, you know, like you're trying to figure out like what foods to put on the menu, what foods to not. So what is that process even like? I'm so curious.
You know, we were really supported by great companies around us, you know, especially like I'll talk about Tinder as an example, making all these amazing plant-based products. So, you know, people wanted the traditional menu items, you know. And when you think about fast food and you go to anywhere, what is it? It's a hamburger, a cheeseburger, a chicken sandwich, a nugget, a fries, like ice cream, like milkshake. That's a menu, right? Everywhere. So for us, it was we had so many options to try new products and different innovative things that were coming through that we were able to be super creative. So it's really, we just made a classic menu, kept it very light. You know, you feel good after you eat it. Actually, you don't get no googlies. It's good. It's not heavily processed. You know, that's important. So
yeah, I love that. For like, let's use like the burger as an example. Like, how many like different versions of a burger were they until you got to the one where you're like, no, okay, this one is perfect. This is the one we're going to serve. Was that a really long process to figure out the recipe?
It took a few months of R&D and just, you know, being self-critical of what you're eating, what you're making, and like, people are going to like it. You go through that internal battle of is this good enough, you know? And then in the end, it's like, you know, Aaron really inspired me with the menu too. He's a very simple guy. So I was like, okay, we'll just strip this thing back. You know, balance the flavors. I've been lucky enough to work with some great chefs over the years that have taught me the art of balance in food. So,
yeah, what is that? What is that art of the balance?
It's really just about allowing flavor profiles to complement each other. You know, like it's imagine two people talking, one talking a lot louder than the other person. One's going to talk over you, right? Ketchup and mustard, the equal amount or the balance of how much. I won't tell you how much. It's like an art to it. But it's like with a pickle and onion, it's the right acidic value, the right balance. It complements instead of overpowers, you know. And we're using like vegan products. So we're using vegan cheeses and vegan mayonnaises and different things. So it was a challenge to find that balance. but we did it. You know, we got it down to a fine art. It's been I'm really impressed with our menu, actually. It's really interesting. Every time I go in, which is a lot, obviously, and I'm always eating it, and it's just great. My kids love it. I think that's why I love it the most. My kids just, like, Jude loves it.
Oh, that's
So,
fantastic.
I love seeing kids eat the menu. It's my favorite thing. It's a great, because Mr. Charlie's is a fantastic alternative. It's still fast food, but it is a fantastic alternative, and we cook everything fresh to order. Like, you can go to some fast food restaurants and get your food in a couple of minutes, but it's sitting there. We don't want to do that. We want to cook it for you. We want it to be the best it can be,
Yeah.
And we've got great customer base, very loyal people behind the brand that have just supported so much since the beginning and still doing it. And that's how we've been able to scale, all the videos. Like, you think about how many times people have posted. I think there's like millions and millions of tags on Instagram and TikTok, and people taking the time to edit those videos, go to the store. It's really exciting, It's
Yeah.
we're very grateful on this journey. So
Yeah,
we feel like
absolutely.
it's a collective.
Are both of you plant-based?
Yeah, I'm predominantly plant-based. We have chickens like on the farm around next door, and it's all sustainable and kind, but majority, yes. Like, I don't eat fast food. I don't eat anything processed from anywhere. I'm not interested, and it doesn't work for my body. A plant-based diet for me, it just works better. Like, my digestion's easier. So we think about that. We have great gluten-free options as well on the menu. We thought about, like, we don't contain any nuts. It's like it's there to help people that have got certain kind of restrictions in their diet, as well. So we think about that. It's not just like slap it together. So yeah, we're very conscious
But
about
and
what we
also
eat.
but the menu also is not just for plant-based people. I mean, it's kind of,
Yeah, it's true. Most of our customers are not vegan.
Not all of them. Certainly not all of them. I mean, I think there's a big, I think we're pushing for the movement of just, you don't need to be fully plant-based to make a difference in the sustainability department. It's like, even just having one plant-based meal a day can make a really big difference. Because, just the non-sustainability of heavy meat eating is huge. And I think that's a big point that, we like to push across.
Yeah, but we don't want to throw it in your face. We've never done that. Like, we're here to encourage. Like, we're just an example.
We don't really market ourselves as a plant-based company, honestly. I mean, people talk about it and it's a thing for sure, but you don't see that on our building or anything because we don't think it really matters.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. On your website, it says Mr. Charlie's is challenging norms, creating demand, and inspiring a global conversation on what fast food can and should be. Could you break that down for me a little bit and go into a little bit more detail about what these things actually look like in practice?
You're asking really good questions.
Yeah, I mean,
we appreciate
you.
I mean, I think what that's touching on is just the thoughtlessness that is involved in major fast food and the amount of, how unsustainable it is. Like, it can't go on the way that it's going and last. And I think we need to make changes as a society and communities to move this in the right direction, because something's going to give. And I think moving plant-based is going to be a big piece of that puzzle.
For sure. It's so what you're consuming too. Remember that it's really important. Your body can only take so much, and what are you eating? That's important to remember when you're deciding what you're putting in your body. So it's we're a part of the solution. We don't really want to reinvent the wheel here. So many great people out there doing it. We have a lot of friends in the industry own restaurants and plant-based restaurants, and we just look at ourselves as a spoke of that wheel, helping it move a little bit, keeping it fresh and exciting and a little bit fun. No ego, just no labels, just have a good time. Your brand, enjoy it. So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And then you mentioned earlier another big part of your mission is giving people who need a second chance, job opportunities and things like that. I was wondering, how do you do that? Like, how do you, find people in the community that, need a second chance? And how does Mr. Charlie's work with the local community?
It kind of is, there's two parts to that answer. And thank you for another great question again. It's so again, we don't want to reinvent the wheel. We're spoke, so that means that we're not going to set up our own academy and go and find people on the streets that need it like that. We have no experience in that game. But like the Dream Center, there has to be an inspiration behind everything, right? So on a personal level, when I went to Aaron, I went, look, we're gonna want to employ people that are living at the Dream Center. I lived there. I got the help. The help changed my life. I have a new life. That just proved the concept. And Matthew Barnett, who runs the Dream Center, created it, said to me 12 years ago when I was there, I know that you're going to come back and help change things with me. I know you will. And I was like, okay. And that was really enough inspiration to really dig myself out of that hole, because I felt like I was in a pivot, no way out, like, until I learned to run up it kind of on an angle, and it took forever. But so we work with the Dream Center, who vet, filter, and work with people that are recovering through their program, that have gone through certain stages of rehabilitation already, and they're now ready to come back into work, and to find something. Mr. Charlie's is a beautiful stepping stone for people to come in, because why? We don't judge you. Like if you've been to jail, like I'll give you an example of this. Actually, I could say a million things, but I'll use an example. We have a gentleman by the name of Andrew Powell who works for us since the very beginning. Aaron's favorite guy in the company, I'm sure. Like all of us, actually, we all love Andrew. And he came out of jail 3 years ago, and he had two dreams. I asked him, what's the two things, or what are some things that you want to achieve in your life right now? And he said two things. One, get my kids back in my life. And the other is that my mom is dying of cancer, and I want to be close to her. I want her to come into my life. And he won't mind me sharing this, like what he asked him. And so we'll fast forward to today. His mom died in his arms, in his apartment.
Wow.
6-7 months ago. I was the first person he called, holding his mum still. That's like, we work together. It's not normal, right? It's a very uncommon relationship between, say, an employer and someone who's working for a company, right? So, but we have a different relationship. And he has a great relationship with his kids, but he's in such a place of peace in his life because he feels supported. And we, as a company, are so grateful for people like Andrew and everyone that works for us, because every day they turn up and they give so much. But we see them and they feel that and they believe it because it's real. And when you see somebody for who they really are, not the mistakes that are hanging on their jacket, because they're like badges, right? Mistakes sometimes. People like to label you with them. And I've had that in my life, and I've made mistakes, trust me, I know. But like all the good that I do in the world today, because I do a lot of good. I work bloody hard at that. I know I do. I'm proud of it. And that's the example I'm setting for my kids. That's the example that Aaron was for me when I first met him. It's like I'm a byproduct of everything, right? But we're giving them a safe place to feel safe enough to be their truest self and grow. So they're cooking your food. So what are you ingesting? It's love, it's kindness. And that's what we stand behind. And then on top of that, the second part to that answer is people hear about it. They hear about this frequency. And I know for a fact that our ancestors push us in the direction of love from another place behind the veil. And I just believe that we are just so kind of magnetic that you'll find your way to the love if you're ready for it. So a lot of people just walk in and say, hey, I need a job. And you'd be amazed how many times we've just turned around and went, all right, cool. You're doing a trial shift on Thursday and let's see how you go. And they've been here 2 years. And it's just amazing. We've seen people come into the company and launch crazy careers afterwards. Like, I love that. Like, that's our dream for everybody. It's almost like, me and Aaron are the parents in a way of just this beautiful home that's safe and inviting and honest, and it gives you an opportunity to just come in and be safe and enjoy that with us. That's all it is, with a bit of fun branding and a quirky menu that's made of plants with some cool celebrity partners now, which has been nuts. So that's been a crazy whirlwind, bringing Mike Tyson and Future and Ric Flair in. It's been crazy. So It's just we're growing, and more people are going to experience Mr. Charlie's because of all the support and all of the work that the team are doing. That's it. That's the scale now. You know, Brentwood was the last store that we opened to just kind of show ourselves internally that we still got this and we can perfect this model. And that's what we did. And now we're scaling. It's exciting.
Yeah, that sounds amazing. It sounds like you guys are having a really strong impact on the local community and people that need another chance. And it's cool that you're able to revisit a place that helped you out in the past and kind of, it comes full circle. So that's really cool that you guys have this like really cool like giving back initiative. I was curious, as two best friends who work together, who founded this restaurant together, you both bring clearly different skill sets to the table. I was wondering if you could talk about your working relationship and how you guys both balance each other out.
I mean, we are truly the yin and yang of each other. Like, we are so different, but we fit together perfectly. I mean, we're working together nonstop. We joke about we need walkie-talkies so we can just, always have it the ready because, we're
sometimes we call each other.
100 phone calls a day.
Yeah, it's true. He's on speed dial. Sometimes we call each other when we're working on separate things, and we'll just leave each other on speaker just to be in each other's room. Like,
Yeah, it's the new age office. So, we're working from our homes, but he's always, the phone's on just so we can hear each other and bounce ideas off each other as we're working.
I'll share something personal. We've been together over a decade, and we've never ever had an argument. We've never had a fight. We've never had a crossword, and that is because of respect. You see, he met me at a place where I was the most broken. I was just about to move into a plant ceremony that really did change my life, that gave me this understanding of the world, and I'm so grateful for it. But it was all profound timing. And Aaron held space for me. And for the first time in my life, I felt loved. I felt seen, and I felt like I had belonging inside the frequency of another human being that I was, one, inspired by, and two, was just madly in love with the way he just approaches the world. He's been the best example I could ever have of slowing down and perfecting things the right way, thinking about it. I'm a people pleaser. That's where I've gone wrong in my life. I lacked in so much self-love and belonging that I overcompensated it. And sometimes you do that with the wrong people, But I do believe that everyone is destined for something great if you can just dig a bit deep. And I've really worked on a personal level. I've worked really hard on myself. I've had to. I'm responsible for a brand in my own right on my side of things to communicate and love and support communities globally. I've committed to that. So I have to always keep topping up myself and making sure that my cup's overflowing, because if it's not, you can't give from an empty cup. And that's one of the things that Aaron's taught me about life, is about the simplicity of it. So we just have this respect for each other, and creatively we're completely different. And
we complement each other.
We just complement each other. He just has the ability to just pull shit out of my head, and I'm insane. And it just works.
I think a big part of it too is we don't have an ego about our own ideas. It's like, as long as we're working towards a common goal, like, a good idea is a good idea. We try to just kind of not get in our own way, because I think that's a big thing, especially when I was younger. It's so easy to get in your own way. I don't think a lot of people do it without realizing it. But yeah, get out of your own way, respect, and don't have an ego about stuff.
And it's nice.
Really been our partnership success.
And together we've birthed a baby. and that's kind of the real. And for us, that baby
is
kind.
Red frowny baby.
Yeah, he's kind. He's loving. He's generous. He's giving. He's loyal. He's understanding. He's empathetic. He's everything that we've grown to be. I'm not perfect. Neither's Aaron. He's definitely more perfect than I am, for sure. I'm a rebel with a cause. But I had to fall down so many times to understand how I could serve better, because I think we're all here to serve on this planet. I think once we get that, it's not about what you have and what you drive and what you wear and all of this stuff. It's all great. It's nice to have nice things, no doubt. But it's like, if you really break it down of why you're here, it's really just to serve and be loved and enjoy. And there are a lot of situations going on in the world, and they're heavy for a lot of people, no doubt. Everyone has their own understanding of it and feeling of it. But, you know, deep down, we're all capable of love. We are. And if, what would happen if we all just loved each other and supported? So that's all Mr. Charlie's is trying to show people. Just an example, not like trying to be too in your face. It's it's loud and fun, but it's kind. You know, that frown, like, we'll turn your frown upside down. As corny as that sounds, like, we will. Like, you come in on it and you're having a bad day, you'll leave better. I promise. And I said to Aaron, if we can just serve one person, change one person's life in this whole journey. At the beginning, we talked about this. I said it would be worth it. Mm-hmm. And we've changed thousands of lives, and we're still doing it. And I'm really proud of it. And that's our legacy, our children, giving them a foundation to go on and create more legacy and more change. But just to go down in history as a group of people, because it's not just me and Aaron, there's a whole team here that are like working their ass off. Like, that's important to acknowledge. Like, without that team, we ain't doing nothing. But like, you know, we made a dent in the world by just making it a little bit kinder and a bit more red, you know. Yeah. We opened on Valentine's Day 2021, Aaron?
21.
Valentine's Day, Love Day. That was our first day. It was 22. Amazing.
Yeah, that's awesome.
22.
Very on brand with your message and your mission. That's really
there you
cool. Go. Have you guys experienced imposter syndrome?
I don't think that we've had the time or room to experience that, because we're still, I mean, we work our asses off. You know, I don't think we're so inside of what we're doing. You know, maybe it looks like one thing on the outside, but on the inside, we're going to work every day and working our asses off, and we're up on the phone till 1 a.m. working on stuff. And it's, you know, I think there's little moments of getting that feeling of, you know, we made something really cool, but then that's a fleeting moment. And then the next moment you're right back into, what do we got to do? What are we doing? So I don't know if there's been an opportunity to have, you know, imposter syndrome, because I don't really feel like anything has happened, really.
Yeah. Taylor, to answer your question, I think imposter syndrome is, essentially feeling like an imposter. So when people either achieve something or reach a certain level of success, they think, oh, like, what if I don't deserve to be in this room? Or, you know, what if I don't deserve this opportunity? Or everyone else in this room is so much better than me or cooler than me. Just those kind of feelings of self-doubt or negative self-talk.
I've had years of that, but not now. I've had years of that before. I battled that for years, thinking, are you good enough? Do I deserve to be here? What am I even doing? You know? But it's today, no, because of the why. Like, I literally had the shit kicked out of me. Like, and ended up like rock bottom, ready to die, because I was just made so many mistakes and I trusted the wrong people. And, you know, it's a byproduct of everything. I'm responsible for everything in the end. I do it. But I was out, I was done. And then until like I found who I was truly, that was a challenge to find it, but I found him, and he's a nice human being. So today I can't feel like that, because I have no ego in the game. It's not about me. Like, and I'll say this, my whole life, Aaron will vouch, I wanted to be the beach. That whole beach, oh, that's me, dude. Come see me. Like, I'm that guy. And today I'm a grain of sand on that beach. And I'm so happy about that, because I'm nothing and everything. I have no ego in it, no agenda. I know in my heart that Mr. Charlie's is good for the world for a lot of reasons. And I know that it's serving, honestly. And I know that the people that are working there need that job to survive right now in a hard economy. So like, and to Aaron's comment, like, we don't stop working. Like we have 2 children between us, like 2 5-year-olds and 2 they're babies. Max turns 1 next week, and it's
happy birthday.
Thank you. Yeah, and Coco's only a little bit older, so it's and it's Lewis only a little bit older, so it's we don't have a chance to stop and think about anything other than serving. That's really the dedication behind it. If you're going to get into something like this, and then remember also that we brought in a megastar team of investors. So like David Sabotic, like crazy entrepreneurs, successful, like business tycoon. Adam Weeks, who built Mike Tyson's empire. Like they're our guys. Adam's our president. So they came in, we built a franchise packet, which means that we have a Bible that can literally translate Mr. Charlie's to any city, any location, anywhere in the world now. And that's what we're doing. We're in the middle of selling hundreds of stores. We've sold so many stores. There's so many announcements to come. Like we haven't said anything yet. We've announced 18 stores in Arizona. But it's just, we don't stop working because we made a decision to serve, to create a foundation for the world, our kids, and something that we could be proud of. That's an accumulation of every dumb thing and every great thing that we've ever done. What could we give from that? Mr. Charlie's. That's really what it is. Little frowny box.
Yeah, absolutely. Through running your restaurants, has there been either a failure or a setback or a challenge that really taught you something important that you carry with you to this day?
Be very careful who you work with.
There's been so many. I think the most important thing is, failure is just a part of the process. Like you have to expect failure, and the only real failure is if you quit. And as long as you just get up, dust yourself off, and keep going, that's not failure. That's just the process. That's just life. So yeah, I think just don't quit. That's my number one piece.
And surround yourself with the right people. That's very important. You've got to be like-minded, got to have the same heart. It's easy to get distracted.
As 2 busy co-founders, you guys mentioned you're working all the time. You have 2 kids. It sounds like you're very busy. I'm really curious what a day in your life looks like.
Oh, man. It varies. It's really around the kids. Like, we're both dedicated dadders, so we book out the morning for the kids. It's I have 2 parts really. I go and hang out and take my kid for coffee in the morning, my little baby Max, take him to the park. We get on the swings. It's just like building consistency and routine. I think it's important for just our brain. And then home, just make sure that we're just eating good, getting a lot of water. I like a sativa edible in the morning. Like, it's good, just balances me out.
Love it.
And then really just, I like to be as organized as I can be. I use a good calendar. Aaron and I are really in the pocket together. Or, we kind of know what's going on all the time in each other's world. So we're kind of like each other's assistant. It's kind of weird. So we hold each other accountable, Yeah,
I mean, similarly, so it's, I have certain hours of the day. And like, these are my kids' time. These are not my time. So it's like the morning, making school lunches and getting to school. Like that's the reality. And then, get your work in. And then after school, we get a few more hours with the kids. It's like all this work we do it for the kids. So it's, it's equally as important that we carve out the time and make sure we're actually there for them. Because that's the most important thing, is just being around for the kids. And then
they love Mr. Charlie's too.
Yeah. And then after they go to bed, then work day 2 starts, Yeah. And
our best sessions have come in the early hours of the morning, like that's the glory hours are midnight to 2 sometimes, not all the time. I try to get to bed by 10 if I can, but I try and pack in a lot. But yeah, sometimes if I need to go late, I'll go late if I'm feeling good. It's important to live as well. It's have things to look forward to. I think that's important.
Creatively speaking, it's like if you're shut in the office day in, day out, like there's no inspiration to draw from. I think
Yeah, agreed.
luckily, it's a job requirement to live and go find inspiration. Like that's just as important. You're going to be way more productive in an hour of work after that than you are sitting staring at walls in your office.
Yeah, that is so true. Yeah, you got to get out there. What is your definition of success?
I mean, that's a great question. I think just happiness is it. I mean, I think whatever that looks like to every person is different, but I think throughout our careers we've had different versions of what we have thought success was. And sometimes having the money in the cars doesn't feel like success. It feels like you think you want that and then you get it and it's not as important as you realize. But I think the daily routine is kind of, that's what you're doing every day, and that's, what does that look like, and are you enjoying that? I think that's all you can ask for with success, is if you're enjoying every day, because it's about the ride. There's no destination here. It's just enjoy the ride, for me at least.
I love that. I genuinely feel that I am the most successful version of myself right now. Tomorrow hasn't happened yet. I don't know what tomorrow looks like, but right now, in the way I turn up and serve, and the way I am as a dad and husband, and always working on myself, being selfless, looking out for others, and doing my best. I sleep well at night, So I feel like that for me is success. That the knowing that everyone in my vicinity is happy and safe in that very moment I'm in. That's real success, because I go minute by minute these days. I don't want to miss any. I spend so much of my life chasing for the goal, getting the goal, and then looking back and going, man, I missed all that. That went really quick. So me and Aaron make a point today of just making sure that we pay attention to the ride. When we stay humble in it, remove our ego. Yeah, we all have one, but sometimes we need them to create. But genuinely, like, we're here to just live our best life and be the best example of a dad that we could ever be to our kids, so they could go on and make the world a better place. But we feel very lucky to be alive, very blessed to be in a position to have all of the beautiful things that we have around us. And the knowing that we're here making a difference is a nice feeling in itself. So that was my dream. I couldn't tell you that was always my understanding of success, but today that is, and I am successful.
Yeah.
I feel successful.
Yeah, both of those answers were really beautiful. I love both of those. When you go to Mr. Charlie's, what is your guys' orders? What's your go-to?
Oh, that's a good question.
Good question.
Okay.
I do a Mr. Chuck and a chicken sandwich.
Love it.
I'm obsessed with the new Mr. Rack. It's not out yet. Maybe on Saturday. But for me, the not a hamburger and fries and the green sauce. I'm done. And a bottle of water. I'm happy.
That's
happy
awesome.
Larry.
That sounds delicious. I can't wait to go to LA and go to Mr. Charlie's next time.
It's really good. It's really, the food's really good. I know it's like, I don't want to sound overconfident when I say that, but like it's for plants. It's badass, dude. Like,
yeah, I'm excited to try
the new Mr. Rack and the green sauce. Try the Mr. Rack and the green sauce.
Okay, for sure. Yeah, next time I'm in LA, I'll go and I'll take a photo of your restaurant and I'll send it to you guys. All right, are you guys ready? Are you guys ready to move into the lightning round?
Let's do it.
Okay. What is something new that you've tried lately? It could be totally random. It doesn't have to be related to anything we talked about.
I'm feeling the pressure of lightning round.
No pressure. You can take a second to think.
A vegan kids cauliflower biscuit.
Ooh. Was it good? Yeah.
It's pretty good. It didn't taste it too much, but it's healthy-ish. So it's a good. Max likes it. So that was, that. Yeah.
Living in the country. I just moved to the
Oh,
country.
yeah.
Like the countryside or like the country of the USA?
Countryside.
Okay, gotcha.
surrounded by cows and horses.
Oh, nice. Did you used to live in like
Yeah.
LA and then you decided to move out of town? Or
Yeah.
Yeah. Just for like a slower
Been
pace
in
of
LA
life?
again, for the kids. I think they wanted some country living.
Awesome.
We're doing it.
Yeah, and you're enjoying it so far?
It's best move ever.
Fantastic. Love it. All right. Do you guys have a lesson or a message that you want to share with listeners?
Yeah, you're more than you're more than the worst thing and the hardest thing you've ever been through. You're worth more than that.
Beautifully said.
In the end, always. Never forget it. Like, love yourself no matter what, unconditionally. Like, it's because in the end, it's you and you. So, yeah, love yourself. So important.
Yeah, I mean, I think honestly, we kind of already touched on it, but it's enjoy the ride. Like that's really, it's really all we're doing here. Enjoy the ride.
Absolutely. What is one thing you wish you knew when you were first starting out?
Oh.
Damn, good questions. I'll
tell you something I'm glad I didn't know.
Okay.
I'm glad I didn't know how hard it was going to be, because ignorance is bliss. And when you don't know what's ahead of you, sometimes you're better off.
Yeah, can I steal that answer too?
Yeah,
True.
absolutely. That's kind of like my attitude when it comes to hiking. Like, I'd rather not know. Like, don't tell me how hard it's going to be till I'm on the hike and I'm just forced to go through it.
You'll figure it out as it comes. Exactly.
There have been many nights where we have just looked up at the ceiling and just asked ourselves, like, who are we? What the fuck is this? What are we doing? Where are we going? Why did we even start this? Like, there's been those moments. But I'll tell you what, if you're not doing that, if you're not having those conversations with yourself, it ain't working.
Absolutely.
They're your breakthrough moments. And one other thing I'd like to share, because I think this is so huge. When it's really shit, like when it's heavy and it's really shit, it's about to get really good. You're being stripped of everything that's not serving you. And it feels painful and it can be very, very challenging. But it's about to get really good, especially right now in the world. It's shifted for a lot of good reasons, So everybody trust that there's real love out there for you. The world's for you, not against you.
I love that. And that's definitely something I need to hear as someone who's going through a lot of transitions and rough patches in life. So that made me feel a lot better hearing that. So thank you for sharing.
Oh, I'm glad.
All right.
I'm glad, of course. It's just
Aaron
true.
and Taylor, this has been so fantastic. Thank you so much for coming on the show. Could you tell everybody where they can find you, try your food, support your work, all of the things?
You can look us up at mrcharlies.co. You can find our social on there as well. And right now we're in 2 locations in LA and 1 in San Francisco, 1 in Australia, and coming to Arizona, Atlanta, Portland, and San Diego.
When are you coming to New York?
Very soon. We're in the middle of something really good. We partnered up with Seasoned Vegan for a pop-up with Saturday Night Live. We just came back from that not too long ago. But those guys are amazing. So there's a few things happening. So when you start seeing things pop
before
up,
too long, you'll be the first to know.
Oh, thank you. I am so excited for whenever that day comes and you guys come to New York. I will be the first in line.
I appreciate you.
Awesome.
You're very sweet. Thank you for your time and all your kind questions and giving us an opportunity to explain some of that crazy life.
Of course. Thank you both. And if you're ever in New York again, come by. We could do a part 2 in studio.
That would be amazing. We'll hold
Okay,
you to that
sounds
for
good.
sure.
Thank you so
everybody.
much.
Thanks so much.